Well, welcome, welcome. So it's good to see you all. I thought we were going to be done with the pollen, but I don't know about you guys, but this morning my windshield had a fresh coat on it. So we're still dealing with that. So anybody who's having difficulty breathing, um, yeah, yeah, raise your hand, right? Having some challenges with breathing. So, the neti pot, I know I talk about this a lot, or nasal rinsing. There are other methods, not just the pot itself, but there are the little bottles, the squeeze bottles as well. Doing that in the evening as well as in the morning, I find to be helpful, especially if you're outside, kind of, you know, moving around during the day. The pollen gets in your nose, and then it makes it difficult to sleep, and then you're dealing with all of that. So maybe doing that twice a day could be helpful for those of you who are having trouble. All right, so just checking to make sure cell phones are off. So, yep, I know everybody's like, oh, rats, forgot that cell phone. We forget about it all the time, right? Because it's just part of who we are at this point. Yeah. I saw a new way to look at your cell phone, a more ergonomic way to look at your cell phone I discovered recently. You know, because we all do this, right? So the neck is in this position when you're looking at the cell phone. And it's not so much people of a certain age. Like, I walked by kids waiting for the bus today. Nobody said hi. There were six of them like this. It was crazy. So a good way to look at your cell phone, I thought this was great to help with that they call it tech neck, right? So your neck is like this all the time, is to put your phone in your hand this way and then support your arm. Isn't that nice? Right? And then you can look and you can scroll with your thumb and kind of do all that kind of stuff. So I thought, I'm going to share that with people because I thought that was great. Yeah. Yep. It doesn't matter which arm. No, whichever you're most dexterous, right? Well, that would be a yoga practice, right? To try it with your right and try it with your left and see which one you're better at, right? Now I'm going to come in and won't be talking. You'll be looking at your phones. So I always like to pass on tidbits of information because I thought that was a really good one. All right, so come right up to the front edge of your chair. And if you can take your shoes off, awesome. If you want to take your socks off today, especially if you have your little towel or your little pad to keep your feet from the floor, that's good. And we're just going to kind of check in with contact between the feet and the floor today. So I want you to see if you can feel your heels on the floor. So just press down into the right heel and the left heel. So it's just kind of the whole heel. Now, can you press into the back of the heel a little bit more? And then into the front of the heel. That's a little harder, right? So the front of the heel is right here for those who are not sure. It's like right there before the arch of your foot starts. So again, press into the back of your heel and then press into the front of your heel and then the outside and the inside edges of your heel. And then see if you can find that sweet spot right in the middle. So press down, and when you press down, see if you can feel your leg muscles get strong. And you might notice that you're leaning forward a little bit because you're trying to look at your feet, but see if you can sit up with your shoulders above your hips. And now press down into the outside edge of your foot, so right up by your little toe, right up at the base of the little toe. Just press down into that part of your foot a little bit. And then press into the big toe ball mound. So this part, the inside edge. So we're kind of pressing into a tripod, if you can imagine. So one point is here, one point is here, and one point's there. So you get this triangle, right? You get this little tripod. So we're pressing down into the tripods of the feet. And as you're pressing down into the tripods of the feet, strengthen the muscles in the legs. Bring that all the way up into your glutes. So your bum should feel active and engaged on the chair. And notice how that supports that more upright position, right? So let's do this. Let's let go of everything. Stop pressing into your feet, relax your legs, relax your glutes, and notice that your whole body just kind of sinks down a little bit more, right? So there's not as much active engagement. So we have this way of sitting. We think, oh, sitting is sitting, right? I've been sitting for a long time. I know how to sit down. But there's active sitting, and then there's passive sitting. So when we just kind of hang out in the chair, we're just passively sitting. But you can actually actively sit by pressing into the feet, into the tripods of the feet. Activate the leg muscles, activate the glutes, bring the shoulders over the hips, relax the neck and the jaw, close your eyes. And notice your breath. Watch the way air is moving in and out. And if you can breathe in and out through your nose, I'll encourage you to do that. Again, those of you who've been here for a while, you know that nose breathing, I often talk about nose breathing as being the perfect conditioning for the air before it hits your lungs. So it's the right temperature, it makes the air the right humidity, it filters out any of those little pollens and other little things that are in the air. So when you breathe through your mouth, you don't get any of that filtration, you don't get any of that that temperature control or humidity control. The air goes into your lungs just the way it's out there in the atmosphere. So breathing in and out through your nose, pressing into the tripods of your feet, eyes are closed, neck is relaxed, jaw is relaxed. If your upper teeth and lower teeth are together, see if you can create a little space between your teeth by letting your mouth open a bit. You can do that with your lips closed or your lips open, doesn't matter, just as long as you don't start breathing through your mouth. And start to deepen your breath. So make your inhalations a little bit longer and make your exhalations a little bit longer. So there's nothing specific, it's just lengthening the inhales, lengthening the exhales. And now see if you can make your exhales a little bit longer than your inhales. Just a little bit. So you're breathing in slowly and then breathing out even more slowly. Breathing in slowly and breathing out even more slowly. And if you start to feel tension creeping into some part of your body, maybe your hands, your shoulders, your neck, see if you can relax that tension. You're still pressing into your feet. Your leg muscles are nice and strong. You're breathing in slowly and you're breathing out even more slowly. And notice if your mind is very busy or if it's very quiet. If there's one or two thoughts, or maybe there is a whole bunch. So it's when we get still in the body and we focus on the breathing that we can start to really see what's happening in the mind. So let's take a deep breath in and let it out with a sigh. Let your eyes gently open. Relax your legs and your feet a little bit. And let's just start some movement for the head. So let's just do a yes movement with the head. Explore this morning. So let the breath stay round and smooth so it's going in and out. No effort. As you tuck your chin down, how far down can you go before you feel a little resistance from the muscles in the back of the neck? And then see if you can move through that and get the chin down a little bit more. Breathe in and out. And then as you bring your chin up, see at what point you get a little resistance from the muscles right here in the front of the neck. And then see if you can lift just a little bit beyond that. And then we're going to go back down. So this is a really slow movement. Get to the place of normal resistance and then just kind of tuck the chin down a little bit farther than that. And then on the upswing, same thing, just kind of getting to that place where there's a little bit of resistance and then moving through that. Good. And then let's bring the head back to that center position. So we've established where our movement ability is in the neck going up and down at this point. So now we're just going to bring the right ear to the right shoulder. Notice where that is, where you feel that first little tug here on the left, and then let's go over to the left side. So just kind of exploring, we'll go back and forth a couple of times. Where is that little tug? So we're just moving the head, not moving the body. We're not like leaning to one side or anything. It's just the head. And the next time that you're over to the right side, when you get to that area where you feel that a little tension here on the left side, can you get your ear a little closer to the right shoulder? See if you can increase that sense of stretch on the left side and hold here as you breathe. So we're trying to get the ear closer to the shoulder, but the shoulder doesn't care about the ear. The shoulder just stays down where it is. It's not trying to reach up toward the ear. Breathing in, breathing out, smooth, slow, steady breaths, and then slowly lift the head back up. And we'll go over to that right side, the other right side, the left side. So again, once we feel that initial stretch here in the right side of the neck, kind of pause there for a moment, and let's see if you can get that ear a little closer to the shoulder. Breathing in, breathing out. Feeling the stretch. It might be a little uncomfortable, especially if you have like a little crick in your neck or your neck's been bothering you a little bit, and then we'll come back up. We're going to do that one time each side. So going over to that right side again, just kind of get to the place where it feels like, oh, that's a comfortable, and that's maybe not so comfortable. And now draw that ear closer to the shoulder. And hopefully you start to feel it down a little farther, right? Like maybe around the collarbone, maybe even into the shoulder top, maybe even to the chest a little bit or the upper back. Breathing in, breathing out. Slowly coming back up. And then left side. Just finding where that edge is and then going a little farther. So moving it down a little bit, so pulling into that stretch a little bit more. Breathe in, breathe out. Coming all the way back up to center. Excellent. A couple more breaths, and then we're going to try a little bit of turning. So again, this is just, the movement is happening just in the neck, not the shoulders, not the upper body, not the lower body. So we're just going to take the head, turn it to the right. See if you can get your chin over your shoulder, right? So in the same plane, and then come back through, and we'll go to the left side. So this is a super slow motion no, right? So if you tend to be a little dizzy, we'd keep going from side to side. If you tend to get a little dizzy, just go really slowly. And if that's still making you feel a little bit off kilter, just don't turn your head. You can maybe just turn your eyes a little bit. So for those who want to go a little deeper with this, as you turn to the right, turn your eyeballs all the way around to the right in the eye socket. It's like you're trying to look behind you and then come back through center and do the same thing on the other side. So again, this is going to really challenge the eye muscles. It's going to challenge the neck muscles as well, because your neck muscles follow your eye muscles. Did you know that? Think about how a baby moves. When a baby is first moving, they look first before they move. Their neck and their body follows their vision. So we tend to follow our vision throughout our whole lives. So if we don't move the eyes and the eye sockets, we lose some of our range. One more time. Good. And then back to center. Great. Let's roll the shoulders forward, up, back, and down a couple of times. Yeah. Isn't that? Yeah, yeah. Well, there's a little saran wrap in there. Yeah, yeah. There's a little connective tissue in there. So crunching. So generally, when you hear noise when you're moving joints, and these are all joints in here. Generally, when you hear noise, if there's no pain, it's okay. We tend to get a little noisy as we get older. There's several things. So tighter muscles here create, well, I've talked about this with other joints as well, right? So tight muscles cross joints, and if the muscle is tight, it's going to bring the ends of the joint closer together, so you might have like a little bit of noise and crunching in there. When we stretch things, we create more space in the joint, so we have a little bit less of that. But in general, necks, especially as we get older, are going to be a little bit crunchy. Yeah. Anybody else have any crunching? Okay, all the time. So just doing these little movements here can be helpful. And notice the way that you're holding your head, right? So this is the default posture, you guys. This is grossly exaggerated, but this is the default posture. We get very short in the back of the neck. And part of that is because we don't have, if we were to go like to a standing position, part of that is because when I stand, I might stand with my knees bent and I'm forward a little. So can you see this posture? This is terrible. So I got to learn how to bring my posture back, bring my weight into my heels a little more. So start with your feet when you're standing. Start with your seat when you're sitting. So this posture forward encourages that. This posture backward encourages this a little bit more. So just kind of think about how you're sitting. All right. So next, what were we doing? Yes. So we're going to roll the shoulders. That's where we were going. Yes. So we're rolling the shoulders a couple of times. Yeah. And that's probably a little crunchy too, right? Not so much? Oh, okay. Good. I was hoping I wasn't the only one. All right. And then roll the other way. All right. Good. And then let the shoulders come down. Good. And then we're going to pull the shoulder blades together as you press the upper part of the chest or near the collarbones. Press that forward a little bit. And then we're going to roll the shoulder blades off the back this way, right? So we'll start by sliding the hands on the lap, right? And try not to get your low back involved, right? So oftentimes when I start to do this, I see people doing this. Can you see how my whole back is doing this? So this is really just about the upper back. And then if you want, you can lift your hands from your lap, pull the elbows back. So squeeze the shoulder blades together and then press forward with really strong arms. Like imagine you're doing a handstand, right? So you're standing on your hands right now. And then we're pulling back. So you want that kind of strength so that your elbows don't bend and you fall on your face, right? So pushing and pulling, right? And if we want to go even farther with this, are you all breathing? Yeah, good. Okay, if we want to go even farther than this, we're going to push really strongly when we come this way and then turn into fists and pull back, right? So we're pushing forward and we're pulling back. Now, I can do this with very little engagement of my muscles. I can just do what the minimum requirement is to move my arms in this plane. But what I'm asking you to do is engage all your muscles. When you come back here, squeeze everything you can. And when you push, squeeze everything you can. Breathe, right? So we don't need to have weights in order to increase muscle strength. And that's what we're doing right now, is increasing muscle strength. When you pull back, make your fists really tight, if that works for you. If your fingers are bothering you, make the fists a little less tight. When you push forward, again, imagine that you're standing on your hands, so you're supporting all of your body weight. What kind of muscle engagement do you have to have in order to do that? So breathing in and breathing out, just a couple more of these, all right? Good. You should be feeling a whole lot going on in your chest and your shoulders, your arms and your hands. And then we're going to extend the arms out in front. Push, push, push. Push a little harder. And then drop the arms down by the sides. Just let them drop down. Close your eyes. Breathe in, breathe out. Feel your arms, your shoulders, your chest. Feel your neck, your upper back. And then let's roll the shoulders a couple of times. You can let your eyes open. Good. All right, a little bit more work with the shoulders. So we're going to do a bit of shoulder work today. So if somebody is dealing with a shoulder issue, it's a little sore, a little tender, just be kind of mindful of where you're going with your movements today with that, okay? So let's take the right arm and we're just going to sweep it out to the right, turn the palm down and sweep it over to the left. So if your shoulder is bothering you, bring your arm way down. If your shoulder is not bothering you, bring your arm so that it's just about parallel with your shoulder top, right? So try doing this without moving your body. So we're just trying to get into the joint here. Breathe in and come back, palm up. Breathe out and come back around. Good. Okay. Excellent. Let's bring that hand back down to the lap. We're going to do the same thing on the left side. So palm up when you go back, palm down when you come forward and over to the right. Again, if you're dealing with a shoulder issue, please be mindful of that. Keep the arm a little bit lower. Maybe don't do quite so much of a range here. Try not to twist your body. So we're really trying to isolate the shoulder itself. Good. And breathe. Excellent. Couple more. Excellent. How about one more? All right. and then let that arm come down. Good. Notice your shoulders a little bit. So we've got a little more grease in the shoulders right now. We're going to take the arms out to the sides. Turn your palms up. Now, your posture is not forward. Your posture is right above your hips, right? So your shoulders are right above your hips. A little bit lower than your shoulder tops, your palms, that is, right? Reach out through your right fingers and reach out through your left fingers. Lengthen your arms. So imagine engaging the arm muscles so much that you could reach one side of the room and the other at the same time. So again, I can hold my arms out here with like minimal engagement. This doesn't really feel like a whole lot going on. I'm just holding my arms out here. Or I can hold my arms out and reach as far as I can. That's a whole different feeling, right? Whole different feeling. Let's hold here and breathe. In and out through the nose. As you're breathing in, fill your whole body from your belly all the way to your shoulders. As you're breathing out, empty your whole body from your belly to your shoulders. Now, this is going to get hard, you guys. So breathe in, breathe out. I know this is really kind of challenging. Doesn't look like we're doing much, right? But if you're really engaging everything, you're doing a lot right now. 2 more breaths if you can. Nice, slow, deep breath in and out. And 1 more in and out. And then slowly, slowly lower your arms. Very, very slowly. Notice all the feeling, right? All the feels that are there as you're lowering your arms. When they get down by your sides, just kind of let them hang down. Close your eyes and notice if your arms feel heavy and long. And take 3 really full, deep breaths. And as you take those 3 really full, deep breaths, imagine your arms getting lighter. So you're breathing in slowly, breathing out slowly. And as you're breathing, your arms are feeling lighter. And then you can let your eyes gently open. We're going to float the arms out to the sides. Good. And now we're going to turn the palms up. You're going to use your thumbs sort of as a rudder. And you're going to move the arms as far, the palms of the hands, rotate them as far back as they'll go. Make that rotation come right up here into your shoulder. And then we're going to rotate forward and down as far as you can go. So we're going to focus the attention on the shoulder blades. Right? So as you come forward, see if you can round your shoulder blades a little bit, right? As you come back, squeeze the shoulder blades a little bit. So it's like you're bringing your shoulder blades up and your shoulder tops nearer your ears as you come forward and down as you come back. You can do this with the arms way down here, okay? So if you're dealing with a shoulder issue, please pay attention to that. You can do it with the arms up here. Try not to go above your shoulders with your hands though, right? So we don't want the arms way up here. That's just too much stress in that shoulder joint. And the shoulder joint is very mobile, and that's a good thing, and it can be kind of a little bit of a problem too if we kind of overdo it. So the next time you rotate in one direction, I want you to hold there and keep rotating and breathing and reaching out through your fingers. Getting your arms longer. Can you twist a little bit more? Whichever direction you're in, it doesn't matter. Keep breathing. Again, this is getting hard. I know this is getting really hard. Yeah, you might notice your breath is getting a little choppy, yeah? A little burning in your arms? Yeah, okay, can you rotate the other way? And when you get to that rotation, can you hold that and really rotate as far as you can, as far as you can. Breathe in, breathe out, and it may not be happening all in your shoulders, let me just say that. You might be feeling it in your elbow, your arm, your forearm, your wrist, your fingers. If you're feeling it in your jaw, you're doing it wrong. So unclench your teeth. Yeah. Yes, triceps for sure. And then slowly relax that. Let the arms come down. Let them hang down by your sides. Holy moly. Take a couple of breaths in and out and notice what you feel. So you can do that with eyes closed or open. Are your arms heavy or light? Are they warm or cool? Can you feel them tingling? And is it more than just your arms? Is it your, again, it could be your elbows, your wrists, could be your chest or your back. Let your eyes gently open. Let's roll the shoulders, real gentle roll up and around and down. Good. Okay. Relax the shoulders down. Let's do a little bit of warm up now for the elbows. So just kind of tapping the shoulder tops with the hands. Now, as we're doing this, using like the least amount of muscular strength that we can do. Like, so this is just like a super easy kind of movement, right? So there's not a lot of effort going on. There's just the brain is saying, bend please. And the biceps are saying, oh, all right, I'll do a little bit. There's not a lot going on here, so I'll just kind of do that. I can do this forever, right? It's not a problem. And now what we're going to do is we're going to have the hands up by the shoulders, make little fists. And let's just say that the brain is telling the arms, okay, you got 5 pounds in each hand, and I want you to lower really slowly. So to lower really slowly 5 pounds, I got to really engage these muscles here, these biceps muscles, right? Go slow, 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 slow. You got 5 pounds in each hand, come up quick. Okay, and then slow, 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 we're going to lower down. Now, this requires much more engagement of the arm muscles if there are 5 pounds. If you're not really sure what I'm saying, what I want you to do is squeeze everything from your shoulder to your fists. Squeeze as hard as you can, even especially when you're lowering down. Especially when you're lowering down. You're squeezing as hard as you can. It's like you're resisting, your muscles are resisting in some way, the lowering down, and then the coming back up is a little bit faster, right? Breathe in, breathe out. So what is this doing? It's building some strength in your muscles. It's not going to make big biceps muscles, but it's going to make strength in the muscle spindles themselves, in the little fibers of the muscles. Your muscles are like ropes. There's all these little fibers that wrap around each other. That's what makes them so strong. But if you like drill down into the microscopic level, your muscles are like these little, they get down into little ropes, and then in those ropes are these little spindles, and then inside those little spindles are these two little things that grab onto each other that shorten your muscles when you say shorten. Okay, so the next time you lift your arms up, and are you engaging all your muscles to do this? We're going to hold here. We're going to bring the elbows out to the side, so we're going to make this even harder, right? So again, you've got 5 pounds in each hand, really slowly opening the arms, and then slowly closing the arms, right? So squeeze the muscles here. These are biceps, right? So Nina was saying triceps. Those are in the back of the arms, right? So these are the biceps muscles. These are in the front of the arms. So 2 more times if we can do this. And when you get your fists onto your shoulders, really squeeze those muscles a little bit more. So we're building some more strength there. I don't remember how many times that was. 20? Okay. We'll say this is 21. We'll call it good at 21, right? All right. We'll call it good at 21. All right. So we're going to release the weights, right? We're going to bring the elbows out to the side, kind of in a scarecrow fashion. Again, if your shoulder is saying, no, I'm not going to do this, just bring your arms down a little bit lower. Relax your ears and your shoulders from one another. And we're just going to bring the arms out to the sides and then back in, right? So we're doing this kind of movement. So keeping the upper arms from moving. So you can see my upper arms are staying parallel to the floor, right? So I'm not doing this, right? I'm not moving the whole arm. I'm just moving the lower part of the arm or the forearm. Okay. All right. So now next time your hands come in, let's make like a light fist here. The brain is saying 5 pounds in each hand, you guys. 5 pounds in each hand. What does it feel like to lift 5 pounds and then lower 5 pounds? You got to really engage the muscles a lot more, right? Yeah, can you feel that? This is some triceps work, right? So biceps in the front, triceps in the back. Yeah. Good, because it takes more for you to extend your arm than it does to bend your arm. How are we all doing? Whew, you're saying, oh my God, and we're not even halfway through class yet. What's going on here? Okay, well, how about one more time? Out and in, can you do it? Yeah, you can. And then back in. Holy moly, let your hands rest on your lap. Close your eyes. Oh, breath in and breath out. Who knew this could be so hard, right? Feel your arms. So your muscles in your upper arms, your biceps in the front, those Popeye muscles, and then the muscles in the back of the upper arm. Those are the muscles that keep waving after you're done. And let your eyes gently open. Okay, so those contribute to strength in the shoulders, right? So we often think about the shoulders as just the shoulder muscles, but your arm muscles are important for your shoulders. Your neck muscles are important for your shoulders. Your belly muscles are important for your shoulders. And we'll do a little work with that too. Okay, so let's rotate with the elbows. Yeah, of course. Yeah, yeah. Yes. Those are your trapezius muscles right up there. Those are the golf ball muscles, right? Put your hands up there and you can feel like golf balls. Anybody else have golf balls up there? Yeah, or tennis balls or something. Yeah, so your trapezius muscle, if you goes from the back of your head out to your shoulders and down to your mid back, it looks like a kite. It goes like that. That supports the shoulder blades and that supports shoulder movement. And part of it is a shoulder muscle, part of it's a back muscle, part of it's a neck muscle. So it does lots of different things. All right. So we're rotating the arms from the elbows, right? So way up and around, if that's possible for you. Okay. So up and around, up and around. Good. And then can you reverse direction? Go the other way. Yeah. And this can be a little noisy in here. Yeah. Okay, and then relax that. Good. Let's take the right arm. We're just going to bring it over to the left. So now we're just going to stretch a little. We just did some strengthening for these muscles. We're going to stretch. So take your left hand and just kind of pull on that upper right arm so that you get it as far over as it can be. You don't want it way up here. You want it kind of down below your shoulder a little bit so it's a little more relaxed. Now you might notice that you're pulling your whole body this way. See if you can keep your body facing forward, and then we're going to turn and look out over the right shoulder. So we're getting a bit of a stretch through the neck. Remember what I said, the neck and the back muscles contribute to the shoulder strength and mobility. So we're going to lift and lower the chin very gently, like you're saying yes. Breathing in and breathing out. So we're maybe feeling some tension in the neck muscles. Maybe noticing something in the shoulder. When I lift my head, it feels like this. When I lower my head, it looks like that. Breathing in, breathing out. Good. And then come back to center with your head. Let's take that right arm, sweep it out to the side, bend your elbow and bring that arm across the small of your back. And then you're going to take your left hand, grab hold of your right. So behind you, you're kind of grabbing like that. If you want, you can grab your wrist. And if you're flexible enough to get hold of a little bit above your wrist, do that. Notice if you have to lean forward and twist yourself to do this, see if you can keep your body upright so you're not creating tension somewhere else. We're really good at cheating, by the way. We are. We don't even know we're doing it, right? So, because when a muscle is kind of at its limit or a little bit in trouble, it just kind of calls up to all the others. Hey, come help me out down here. And so we're very accommodating. So when we do that, I can't get my arm back there. So now I can. Okay, but the rest of my body is like. All right, so I'm holding the arm over here to the side, maybe feeling some stuff in the shoulder, maybe feeling it in the arm, maybe feeling it in the lower part of the arm there, maybe even in this arm that's doing the work. And then take your ear to your shoulder, your left ear to your left shoulder, sorry. Bring your chin down and then rotate up. So it's like you're saying no. So get your ear as close to your shoulder as you can. So the ears have an attraction for the shoulders. And the shoulders are completely indifferent to the ears, right? So I don't want to lift the shoulder to the ear, but I definitely want that ear to be as close to the shoulder as it can be. And as you're turning your head, just notice where you feel things, right? So, when I turn my nose down, I get this amazing stretch or this really difficult stretch. Or when I turn my nose up, I can feel that stretch in this other spot. Breath in, breath out. That's the single most important thing. Good. And then we're going to bring the head back to center. Slowly lift the head back up. Good. Release your arm. Let it hang down a little bit. We're just going to press down on that shoulder top. So press down on the shoulder top. Good. Excellent. Let's take the other arm now. We're going to take that left arm, bring it over to the right. Take your right hand, just pull on that upper arm. You can be up by your shoulder, somewhere between your elbow and your shoulder. It doesn't really matter. Just kind of pull it across your body and relax down away from your neck, right? So you want to relax your neck, your jaw. Turn and look out over your left shoulder and lift and lower your head like you're saying yes. So there's that nice up and down movement, very slow. And as you're doing this, you're just kind of curious about where you feel something, where you feel a stretch, where you feel a little bit of a pull. And then head comes back to center. Good. We're going to release that arm, bring it around behind your back. Slide that arm across the small of your back, grabbing hold of your hand or your wrist or your forearm or whatever you can get back there. Everybody doing all right? Notice if you're twisting, turning, trying to cheat your way into it. See if you can come back to integrity in your body and have that arm over here. And then bring your right ear to your right shoulder. Good. So with your right ear as close to your right shoulder as you can be. Now feet are flat on the floor. So this is your stability, right? Having your feet flat on the floor. We're going to turn the nose down and then turn the nose up. So it's like you're saying no. Right? So you're not lifting your ear from your shoulder. You're not even really lifting off of that shoulder. It's just this rotation. And this can be a little tricky. When we put our heads in an unusual position, or actually, let me say it a different way. When we put a body part, an arm, a head, leg, whatever it is, when we put a body part in a different location or position, and then we try to move it in customary ways, it can be a little bit confusing. Because we have something that's called proprioception. And proprioception is our brain's way of saying, oh, this is where I am in space. As soon as I do something from a different angle, that changes my proprioceptive response. And then one more time, we're going to turn the head up and down. And then bring the head back to center. Good. Release that arm, let it hang down, and take the other hand. Now take the right hand, push down on that shoulder a little bit. Just kind of pushing down, like you're trying to push the shoulder right down to the floor. Good. Release that. Now take both hands, and we're going to come right up to those golf balls, right? So you find those golf ball things up there on the shoulder tops. Using your finger pads, so not the tips of your fingers, but your finger pads. Give yourself a little massage in here. Oh, that feels awesome. Just kind of swirling around on those tight shoulders. And notice, is anybody feeling something in their head when they do this? A little tingling in the head? A little tingling in the top of the back, maybe? Yeah? Not so much? Good for you. For those of us with really tight shoulders, that usually gives a pretty good tingle in the head. So come up into the neck a little bit here. So stay behind your ears, though. So in other words, don't bring your hands here to the front of your neck. You want to have your fingers behind your ears in the back part. And notice what that feels like, right? So this is still part of your trapezius muscles here. Coming up and around. Good. Couple more. Okay, and then release that. Good. Let's just kind of roll those shoulders a little bit. How's everybody's shoulders doing? You're aware of them? You're aware of them. Okay. All right. Let's move on. Let's do a little bit of work with the hands. So let's just take the hands and squeeze and extend the fingers. How are those fingers working this morning? Stiff. Yeah. So this is a good thing to do for fingers, right? We don't often think about exercising the fingers. But what controls your fingers are muscles that, part of what controls your fingers are muscles that start in your arms, right? So you've got muscles in your arms that move your fingers. So extend your fingers as far as they'll go. Spread your little finger and your thumb as far away from one another as they can be. So you want your hands as big as they can possibly be. And then make fists like as tight as you can with comfort. So if squeezing your fists make your joints hurt, then don't squeeze quite so hard. So we're going to go and extend, really extend, and then squeeze and relax your shoulders and your jaw. So you're doing this movement with your hands, not your shoulders. Your hands will call on your shoulders to do the work. And your shoulders' responsibility here is to say, not my job. You do your own thing back there. Okay. And then we'll go kind of middle of the road into what I call a bear claw, right? So kind of a little squeeze of the fingers here. So really engage all those muscles as strongly as you can. Imagine you're trying to scratch at something really hard, right? And then extend your fingers. Good. And relax that and circle at your wrists. How we doing? Now your fingers are saying, I'm getting a taste of what the shoulders just got. And then we'll reverse the direction of that. Good. Let's take the right hand. We're going to pull back on the fingers, straighten the elbow. Straighten the elbow. Breathe in, breathe out. Go to the other side. So we're Doing the left hand now. So straighten that elbow. Really stretch, stretch, stretch. Good. And then right hand, we're going to press the fingers down toward the floor. Press on the back of the hand. Breathe in, breathe out. Elbow straight. Good, and then other side. Again, elbow straight. So we want the elbow straight so we can get at all these muscles in the upper arm. We've been doing a whole lot of arm work here today, so we want to get that arm going. Okay, and then let's relax that, shake that out. I got one more move for the shoulders, and then we'll give the shoulders a little rest. Does that sound okay? All right, thank God, right? Okay. Take your right arm, sweep it out around behind you. Get it right on the small of your back, right? It's just kind of hanging out there. Whoa. Okay, so when you get your arm back there, we're going to take the other hand, bring it up overhead if you can, bend your elbow, and place that hand on your shoulder top. So you got one hand below and one hand above. Now see if you can crawl your fingers of your bottom hand up toward the fingers of your top hand. As they get closer, right? Breathe. Okay, now grab your bottom fingers with your top fingers. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, just like that. Just like that. Right? Yeah, grab those fingers. Yeah, I can't see back there, so you all look like you're doing it perfectly. I am fine with that, right? Isn't that a grand stretch, right? All right. One more breath in and out. Whew. Excellent. Let's slide all that back down. Wowie, right? Roll the shoulders a little bit. All right, let's take the left arm. Sweep it around behind you. Just kind of rest it there. Take your right hand, bring it to the shoulder top, lift the elbow. Okay, this time you'll do it. I know you will, right? All right. It's easy. Yeah, absolutely. She's got it. Okay, so slide the bottom fingers and the top fingers together and grab hold. There you go, right? Breathe in, breathe out. Whew. You all look perfect from this perspective. Just saying. Yep, looks great, looks great. And then slowly lower down. Oh, roll those shoulders forward, up, back, and down a little bit. So that's a great thing to do after you warm up the shoulders. Like all the movements that we did building up to that are important. And the reason I'm saying this is in case somebody decides tomorrow morning when they get out of bed, I'm just going to do this. You really want to warm up your shoulders a lot before you do that, right? So we did all kinds of rotation. We went forward and back. We did this side. What else did we do? We did movements up and around. So you want to warm up the shoulders before you go into that really complex thing. And yeah, and that's all I'll say about that. Okay. So give the shoulders a little break. So those folks who are saying, oh, enough with the shoulders, we're going right down to the feet. Uh-oh. Yeah, because you know, we have to do the feet. They're the most important thing because that's what we interact with the earth every day. Unless you're a hand walker. How many hand walkers in here? Hand walkers. Okay, so if you're a hand walker, you can skip the foot part. You don't have to do the foot part. All right. So look down at those feet and appreciate them for a minute, right? So oftentimes we look down and we're critical. Oh, my toe crosses over, I have a bunion, I have a corn, my toenails need attention. Yeah, oh, my sock has a hole in it. Yeah, all those things. So just look down and just appreciate your feet bear your entire body weight every day. Your feet get you from where you are to where you want to be every day. Without your feet, imagine what your life would be like. Right? It would be really hard. You could still get around, but it would be really, really hard. So just for that sake alone, appreciate your feet. And now thinking about those 3 points of contact that we did at the beginning, so the heel, the big toe ball mound, the little toe ball mound, press down into those tripods of your feet. And I'm just going to ask you to lift all your toes up and then lower them down. So we're just going to lift and lower the toes, keeping the tripods down. You can keep looking at your feet if you want, or you can sit up a little bit taller and let your feet your toes kind of do what they're doing. Tune into your breath as you're doing this. Can you lengthen your inhalations and exhalations? And it doesn't matter how quickly or slowly you're raising and lowering your toes, by the way. We're going to do this a little bit, so take your time with it. Notice as you lift up, do all your toes move together, or are your big toes a little bit independent of the other toes? As you lower down, same question. Do all your toes move together, or are your big toes a little independent of your other toes? Breathing in, breathing out. A few more times, just lifting and lowering the toes. And then the next time the toes come down, just kind of hold here. Slide your feet back just a little bit, maybe a couple of inches, so that your heels are a little bit behind your knees. Press into the tripods of your feet, right? So the heel, the big toe ball mound, the little toe ball mound. Spread your toes out a little bit if you can, especially if you have toes that are like really super close to one another. See if you can spread them out. If you need to reach down and give them a little physical assist, you can do that. Okay, and now keeping your toes on the floor, you're going to come up onto the balls of your feet and then back down. So lifting and lowering. Keep the toes pressing into the floor. So don't let your toes lift up. We're just doing these heel raises, right? So heel raises coming up as high as you can, right? So looking down maybe at your feet. If you look down at your toes, you want your toes to be facing forward. So if you've got your feet so they're out like this, I'm going to ask you to bring your feet straight forward so that you're not strengthening a pattern here where your foot is compensating. So we're coming up and coming down. Now if you've got a bunion or you've got something, or you've had surgery, bunion surgery, this may be really challenging to do. With bunion surgery, you may not be able to actually flex your toe quite like this, depending on how the surgery was done. So coming up and down. And then let's just do alternating, so one at a time. So kind of coming up and coming down. And as you do this, notice, are you just kind of moving the minimal amount or engaging the minimal amount of muscles to do this? When you come up onto your into your heel lift on one side, I want you to engage all the muscles in your lower leg. Squeeze. And then the other side. Squeeze. And then go back. Squeeze. So this is very different, right? So again, I can just be really bored and go back and forth like this. It doesn't do much. If I really engage the muscles, I'm actually building some strength in the muscles in my lower legs. Good. Breathing in, breathing out. Excellent. And then lower back down. Bring your feet out a little bit farther. Notice what your legs feel like. So if you were engaging the muscles the way I was saying, you should be feeling something here in the backs of the lower legs, the calves, right? Anybody feeling that in the calves? Excellent. All right. So now, using having the tripods of your feet on the floor, we're going to press down into the toes. And you can have a look down there. And we're just going to lift the big toes and lower them down. So we're just going to continue to lift and lower. Now, we do this all the time, right? Yeah. Are you noticing any difference? Anybody practicing this at home first? Yeah. Excellent. Are you noticing a difference? Is anybody not noticing a difference? Can you lift and lower your toes easily? Are you more aware of it? Yeah. Good. Okay. So now press your big toes down. Tripods and big toes. Lift all your little toes. And lower down. This is the harder one. How is this the easier one for some people? No, nobody? This isn't easier for anybody in the room. One person. There you go. Two people. All right. Yeah. Yeah, this can be easier for some people. So we're lifting and lowering all the little toes, but not the big toes. So if your big toes are lifted up, you're doing it wrong. You want your big toes down. You can. Yeah. Reach right down there. Sure. Press down into the big toes. Yep. Sure, there's all kinds of different ways to do this. So if all of your toes are lifting when you want your big toes down, so let's just take a little break here because our toes will fall off. So we don't want to overdo the toes. So part of this is muscles, right, and how they work. Part of it is the brain, right? So if I'm in a shoe all the time, My toes don't have to work independently because the shoe forces my toes to work as one unit all the time. So I don't have the neurological connection from my brain to my toes to say, oh, I can lift all those little toes but keep the big toes down. So when I try to do it, it's like, there's like sort of this disconnect about what's going on down there. So definitely using your fingers to kind of hold the toes down, that's helping to train them a little bit, and it's also starting to get that neural pathway going in the body as well. Because the reality is you can't make a move in your body without a thought first. The brain makes the movement first. The brain says, lift that toe. The brain says, bend the elbow. The brain says, push that fist out. If that doesn't happen, then you don't make a movement. So if there's no connection there, if you never make that kind of movement, you have to kind of create that conversation. Okay, so now let's press all the toes down, right? You got that feeling in the toes now, right? Lift them all up. Press your big toes down and then lift your big toes, but not any of your little toes. So now we're doing the opposite kind of movement, right? So we got everybody lifted and we're pressing the big toes down. If you're having trouble with this, take your hands and hold all your little toes up as you press the big toes down. So again, you're holding all the little toes up as you press the big toes down. So we're doing the exact opposite movement that we were just doing. How's that going? Very good. No, you can't do this with your feet. The sides want to come up. So yeah, so that's a good point. So Mimi's saying that when she presses the big toe down, the foot wants to roll like this, right? Yeah, it's inversion of your foot, so don't invert your foot. You got to have those 3 points of contact. Remember the 3 points? Heel, big toe ball mound, little toe ball mound. So you got to keep those tripods on the floor. How's the breathing going? Metz, right? Okay. All right, so now can you lift all of your toes? Keep the big toes up. Press all the little toes down, but not the big toe. And lift and lower, same thing, right? So you're pressing all the little toes down, but not your big toes. Slow and steady. If you're having trouble here, reach down and hold your big toes up as you press all the little toes down. So it's just the opposite. So you're holding your big toes up and you're pressing all the little toes down. And you're frustrated, right? Yes. That's all right. That's part of it too, right? And then relax that. Okay. Yeah, if it were easy, then you're not creating new neural pathways. If it's easy, your body's not learning anything new. So if it's hard, know that you're on the learning curve right now, which is really awesome. Okay, so lift all your toes up. This is the last one, I promise you guys. Lift all your toes up. Press the big toes down and the last toes down, but not the middle toes. Yeah. And then lift everybody back up. Okay, let's try that again. So press just your big toes down. You can look down there. Press your little toes down there, but not your middle toes. Yeah. And then relax. So if you're having trouble with this, take your fingers, hold your middle toes up. Press the big toes and the little toes down. Right? So you're training your toes. That's a problem? Why is that a problem? Nothing's working. Practice, right? Yeah. So just a couple more. Oh, somebody said something bad back there. It's a time. All right, relax all that. Wow. Okay, so take a moment and notice what your toes feel like. Right? Are you more aware of your toes as independent digits rather than just this thing that these things that are at the end of your foot that get jammed in the shoe, right? Yeah, there's a difference. So toe independence is really important. It's important for balance when you're standing, right? It's important for balance when you're walking. And it's important to maintain your ability to walk and to move on your own, right? Because if you've got toe independence, what we just did with all of that, besides having a really fun time doing it, is we're building strength in the arches of the foot, right? So you've got the arch of your foot is right here in the midfoot. It's the bones right here in the midfoot, but there are muscles on the bottom of your feet. You got 4 layers of muscle on the bottom of your feet. Those layers of muscle actually create the arch in your foot. They support the arch, and there's 3 main places. One is here. This is the one we always think about when somebody says your arch. That's the one we all go to. It's the big toe. But you also have one out here on the little toe side, and then you have one that goes across your foot. It's your transverse arch, and it's the 3 of those together that create a strong foot. And it's the 3 of those together that will create that independence in your foot and in your toes. So practice this at home if you don't practice it at home already. And for those who have been practicing it, are you noticing any improvement in your flexibility in your toes, your independent toes? Good, good. And I can't emphasize enough, go barefoot as much as you can at home. That's important. Be in as minimal a shoe as you possibly can when you can. And take care of your feet. You know, if you can massage your feet, if you can bend your leg to a point where you can actually touch your foot, massage your feet. Give them a little bit of a break at the end of the day. Okay, so sit comfortably in your chair. And you might have your feet on the floor. Your feet might not be on the floor. You might be on your block. Close your eyes, relax your arms, let your hands rest wherever they're comfortable. So if you want to have your hands together, you can do that. If you want to have them apart, kind of on your lap, you can do that as well. And notice where your head is in space. So is your chin lifted? Are you in that sort of, I'm going to call it that relaxed position in your body? Can you bring your chin down slightly so that it's parallel to the floor? And imagine the top of your head moving farther away from your shoulders as it can get. So your ears are lifting away from the shoulders. So in some of the exercises, we had the ears moving toward the shoulders. Now we have the ears moving away from the shoulders. And then deepen your breathing. Inhale and exhale through your nose. And see if you can slow the breath down. And as you're slowing your breath down, bring your awareness into your toes. Just your awareness. So you don't have to move them or look at them. You're just bringing your awareness there. So just be aware of your big toes. And your second toes. 3rd, 4th, and 5th toes. So you got all the toes in your awareness, right side and left side. And then the soles of your feet, and specifically those tripods in your feet, the center of the heels, the little toe ball mounds, the big toe ball mounds. Just be aware of that. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to press into them or anything. Just be aware of that part of your body. And then be aware of the places between the tripods of your feet. So that's where your arches are. So get a sense of your arches. And then your ankles. So move to your right ankle and feel the front, the back, and the inside and outside of your right ankle. The front, the back, the inside, outside of your left ankle. And become aware of your right shin and your left shin. And your right calf and your left calf. Your right knee and left knee. And the back of your right knee and the back of your left knee. And your right thigh and left thigh. The inside of your right thigh and the inside of your left thigh. Outside of your right thigh, outside of your left thigh. Back of your right thigh, back of your left thigh. Front of your right thigh and front of your left thigh. Feel your right hip in the front, the side, the back, and the left hip, the front, the side, the back. And feel your belly below your navel, around your navel, above your navel. Feel your rib cage in the front, in the sides, in the back. And feel the right side of your waist and the left side of your waist. And your low back. Get a sense of your spine as it travels from your low back all the way to the base of your skull. And your right shoulder blade and your left shoulder blade. Your right shoulder and left shoulder. Your right upper arm and left upper arm. Right elbow and left elbow. Right forearm and left forearm. Right wrist and left wrist. Right hand, fingers and thumb. Left hand, fingers and thumb. Your right ear and left ear. The right side of your neck and the left side of your neck. The front of your neck and the back of your neck. Your right cheek and left cheek. Right eye and left eye. Your forehead and the top of your head. Your chin. Your nose. Feel the whole right side of your body from the top of your head to the bottom of your foot. And the whole left side of your body from the top of your head to the bottom of your foot. Feel the whole front of your body from your face to your toes. Feel the whole back of your body from the back of your head all the way to the bottoms of your feet. Get a sense of your whole body all together as you breathe in and out. Your whole body all together as you breathe in and out. Whole body all together. Breathe in and out. Taking a full, deep breath. When you get to the top of that breath, pause and take in a little bit more breath, and then let it out with a big sigh. Ah. Take your hands together for a moment. Just an appreciation for your body, for all the things it's able to do, all the things it's working to try to do. And then if you'd like, you can open your eyes, just acknowledging all these folks here in the room. Yeah. Great. Enjoy the rest of this beautiful day. Yeah, we'll see you all next time.